Hey, ambitious women in insurance and finance. It's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. I am super excited because today is a day I want to talk to you not about strategy, not about scaling your business, but about the more you, creating the you that's already in you. If you ever listened to me before, I always talk about the small you, and then there's another big you that's waiting to burst out, that's ready to get forth, but yourself is not building that confidence that's necessary. Here's why this is important. It's important because whenever I give you a strategy, if you don't know the mindset that you need to be in to do that strategy, it's not going to work. And that's in anybody. So if you're struggling to trying to figure things out in your business, or why you're just stuck at a number, a revenue number in your business, this is the video for you. This is a video for you. And I want to dive deeper in that because the more you know about yourself, the Bible says, know thyself. The more you know about yourself, the more you can impact more life that you're called to impact, and the more you can do the things necessary to grow your business. So if I'm going to be talking about becoming the you version of you, I have a life coaching certificate, but I need to bring in people who specialize in that area. I need to bring in people who are more expert in that area, because guess what, I don't go in anybody's lane that I don't know much about. Okay, so today I'm super excited to invite you to one of my amazing mastermind sister. Not only she's my mastermind sister, but she's also one of our keynote speaker at Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference. Listen, if you haven't got your ticket yet, you're in for a treat, baby, because when we get done, you'll need to grab your ticket, grab your hotel room, and your flights, because this queen is going to transform your whole mindset. I guarantee it. Before we get started, make sure you grab your diva notebook and your diamond pen. This beautiful queen is no other than the amazing Annette Nicole Jones, MA. And I'm going to bring Annette on with me right now. And I just want to add her to the stage. Hey, Annette, how you
Hey,
doing?
hey.
Hello to my amazing, ambitious women in insurance and finance. I am so excited for you to be here. It's been so long since we
Yes.
had an opportunity. We were catching up, y'all, right before we do this recording, because we saw each other in Atlanta,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, at TSP Live, but it was just ironic we were there together.
Yes.
So, Annette, I have a whole bio that they're going to get if they're on my email list, and they're going to get to know you more in um, when we come to Florida. But
Mhm.
in a short version, tell us who you are and tell us what you do.
So, hey, y'all. As Sherry said, I am Annette Nicole Jones. I am by trade, I'm a mental health therapist. So I have a master's degree in community counseling. I have a certification in life coaching. Ultimately, I'm your favorite coach. I do business coaching and mindset coaching for entrepreneurs, helping them to grow their God-given gift into 6 and 7 figure businesses. I'm a mom of two. I have a 28-year-old and a 19-year-old. I know I look too young to have older children like that, but the reality is a girl does have those. So y'all, I'm just all around. I'm your favorite girl. Like people tell me, I'm the resident comedian. I love to make people laugh. I love to smile and laugh. The joy of the Lord is my strength, and that's pretty much who I am. But you'll get to know more detailed information about me as we talk and as we go on.
I love it. I love it. So, Annette, I hear accents. She's from New Orleans, y'all, just like me. I'm from Jamaica, right? So I love the accents. And we had the privilege of hanging out with Annette and Malika a few years ago in New Orleans. The best thing ever, y'all. So, there's so with that being said, how did you get into the practicing, or get into the space of helping with, I think, not just women, you're just helping your community with when it comes to therapy. How did you get in that space and why?
So I love working with people. And also, I love to understand how the human mind works, right? Because I know that your mind controls your behavior, which ultimately controls your entire life, right? And so, my undergrad degree, I pursued a degree in psychology. And then the next level up from that is just to work in counseling. Because again, I know once you can transform the way that you think, you can transform your entire life. I just didn't want to stay in that capacity because as a therapists, you can only work with people's mental illness, right? That's the job. I also know that even though we can have a diagnosis, we can live beyond a diagnosis and live a normal life, right? And so
Mm.
I didn't want to harp on mental illness as much as I wanted to focus on mental wellness, right? Because technically, if you look in the DSM, we all have a classification or a diagnosis. I'm just gonna be real. Like I
Come on.
don't read the
Come on.
DSM to be like, this me right here too. You know what I'm saying? So
Come
we
on.
all have something in the DSM that we can be diagnosed with, but we all can definitely live a normal, productive life, right? So I wanted to focus more on mental wellness than I did mental illness, which meant I had to leave the field of therapy and mental health counseling to get on this side as a coach to work more effectively with people to help them, because my ultimate goal is to help people live the best life that they want to live, right? So if you want to live this grand life, great life, I believe it's all possible, right? And because I'm a Christian and a biblical person, I believe that all things are possible through Christ. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that whatever life you want to live, if I can get you to think about it, I can help you to create whatever that looks like. So in the coaching space, it allows me to do that at a greater capacity.
Ooh, I love that. So let's get into the coaching space, baby, because we got a lot to dissect there. As a coach myself, as a business coach, one of the things that for me, one of the things that was challenging to me, I came from a country where we were born into go hard or go home, right? We that work was our trauma. I will say that, right? You always hear people say, yeah, you must be Jamaican, you got 3 jobs, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
when I came to America, I took on that same armor and started just doing the same thing. Like, I have to succeed. I was in law enforcement. I have to literally make sure that I get rank, and because I didn't think that there was no other way.
mhm,
And then what opened my eyes, Annette, is when I started seeing other people who even looked like me that wasn't working as hard as I was working,
mhm.
and I was like, "Well, what's wrong with you?" You know? And that became a trauma for me. And then let's say I would be successful. Then I
Mhm,
found some people who I'm giving them the strategy, keyword, of what they should do, step 1, step 2, step 3, and they
mhm,
wanna follow it, and I couldn't figure out why they weren't following it. I forgot about the mindset piece,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Do you find that a lot of people, leaders who are in this space, especially my ambitious women who are in this space of insurance and finance, do you find that the reason that they may not be successful because they may be because of the strategy, they may be thinking they need strategy when they need mindset? How do you feel about that? Because it opened my eyes up as a coach and really transformed the way I coach women who are in this space. Do you have any experience that are stories that you can relate to what I just said? Because for years I was getting frustrated, my clients not getting the results that they desire, and I realized, I'm like, hold on, I just did the same step you just did, and how
mhm.
you ain't getting this, So speak to that place where, as a coach, you discover that it's a bigger issue than you thought.
So for me, working on a strategy without working on a mindset is the equivalent to wanting to get rid of a tree and only cutting the leaves off. Like, you literally have to pluck up the whole root of the tree to get
Woo!
rid of it.
Y'all
You can't
heard that?
you can't just prune it.
Oh, say
Yeah,
yeah. Listen,
you gotta pluck
listen.
it up at the root to get rid of it, right? And so the
Yeah.
problem is, a lot of times we don't get to the root of a problem, right? And so we just want to put a little band-aid on it, put a little neosporin on it, and go on. And if you never get to the root, then you never truly address the problem, right? So a lot of times it's not strategy, it's not, showing up on social media. It's really the mindset, right? The mindset rules absolutely everything in your life, from weight loss to believing you can do things. Like, if you don't truly believe you can do a
Mhm.
thing, I don't care how much I encourage you, tell you, give you a strategy, you're never going to do the thing, because
Mm.
in your mind you don't even believe that it's possible. So I have to address the root of all of that before I can even get you to believe that success is yours, you're worthy of success. success is attainable. Like I have to get to your money mindset things, the mindset that was implanted in you by your parents. Sometimes we are literally having to unlearn some things that our older parents and ancestors taught us because that's what they knew in their limited thinking and their capabilities back then, right? So we even have to unlearn some familiar things. And start to believe that it's even possible before we even start attacking a strategy. Because if I don't believe it's possible, I'm not going to do the steps in the strategy. I just, because it's a waste of time. I don't even believe it's possible. Why am I even going to do this? You
So
know what I'm
we don't
saying?
talk we don't talk cliche around here. So tell us a way in and I know this is not something, this is a whole concept you have to work through over years and even 90 days or more. I get it. But tell us a starter kit that
Mm-hmm.
somebody who they're ambitious because
Mm-hmm.
these are the amazing women that found they're great worker. They're super ambitious and they
Mm-hmm.
want more for their family, they want more for their life, but it just seems like they cannot move to go to the next level, no matter what they think they try. Tell
Mm-hmm.
us what is like a starter kit they can start doing mentally to
Mm-hmm.
be able to start seeing some type of mini results. Tell us what would you offer as a direction for these people?
So actually just challenging your mindset, right? So again, if you look at the whole scheme of your entire life, right, you'll realize how the mindset has played a role in everything, right? So whatever you've actually set your mind to do, if you've accomplished anything in life, initially you have to set your mind to it in order to accomplish it. You have to apply that same mindset or that same philosophy to every area of your life. So I'll use, for example, um, for me, getting a college degree, I was a first generation college grad, right? So I was determined to graduate college to break this cycle off my family, right? So I went to school. It took me 10 years to finish undergrad, but I was determined because I had set my mind to do it, right? But on the other hand, I was telling myself, oh, weight loss is so challenging, blah, 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 all this other. I'm telling myself this story, right? And then I realized the same energy you used in determination to complete your degree, even though it took you 10 years, you finished the degree because you set your mind to it and you were determined to do that. That's the same determination that you have to use across the board in every area of your life, right? It's
Come
no
on.
once I set my mind to it, whatever it is, I'm going to accomplish it. So no matter if it's starting a business, making $1 million, losing weight, finishing the degree, purchasing a
Come on.
house, purchasing real estate, it's all the same philosophy. Set your mind to it, set the action steps in place, and roll through it. Right. So again, it's all mindset. Everything is mindset.
I love this. So how does mindset now plays a role? Because I know you said you are getting ordained in the spiritual pastoral world. And I love that because now you have the power of both side.
Mhm,
How does mindset and walking with God, because everyone know I'm a God girl.
mhm.
How does that go together? Where is the mindset and where's the biblical principle? How is that come together?
Because the word says, "So a man thinks, so is he."
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, when we say mindset, they're are we edging God out of the mindset, or are we, when we say mindset, we're also saying God too?
I'm never edging God out of anything. He's in everything. I just told you in his word, he says, so a man thinks, so is he. So he's telling you in his word, whatever you think you are, that's what you are. It
Mm.
starts in your mind. So a man thinks, set your mind on things above, right? That's still keeping you connected to God, but it's still in your mind. He said, I'm gonna give you perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on me. God talks about the mind. All of that works in the mind. But again, if I'm gonna go back to so a man thinks, so is he. Whatever you think you are, or whatever
Mhm.
you think you're not, you absolutely right either way.
Woo! I love that.
You're right either
Listen,
way.
I always love when this woman comes on, honey, because she's gonna boom jam, boom. I'm like, okay, I told y'all to grab your diva notebook and your diamond pen when that come through. I told them, and I did. I did. I hope they were
I heard
listening.
you when you said it.
I did. Y'all, if you're just joining me, we are here with the beautiful keynote speaker at Unleashing Your Inner CEO, Annette Nicole Jones. She is one of our amazing speakers. She's going to get your mind right
Yes.
from a
Yes.
spiritual standpoint when it comes to growing and scaling your business. Because if your mind is right, your money will follow.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
If your
I'm
mind is right, your money
excited.
will be tight.
If your mind is right, your money will. Let me ask you a question. Have you always believed in this way from a child, or did something happen to you in your life that got you to the place of believing this awareness now?
Mhm. I've always believed in God. I haven't always believed in me,
Mm.
right? Um,
Whew. Tell me
yeah.
more.
So yeah, I've always believed in God. I didn't always believe in me. Um, which means like I knew God was gonna make a way. I knew God is able, all these other things. But it took me until my adulthood to realize God is working in me. It's the power that He invested in me to do certain things. So let me tell you what I started telling my clients some years ago. I say I realize there's a God part and then there's a my part, right? The relationship between God and I is a partnership, right? It
Mhm.
is not that He is going to do everything. He
Mhm.
equips us with the power to do our part, and He does the part that is impossible for us to do, right? He tell us to
Mhm.
put on a full armor and show up to the fight, then He gonna fight the battle. But if we don't put on the armor and show up to the fight, then the fight will never be won, right? We have our
Mhm.
part, He has His part. I use, for example, if you pray to God for money, if you pray to God to be able to get toothpaste and a toothbrush to brush your teeth, right? God is going to give you the money to buy the toothpaste and the toothbrush. What He's not going to do is go to Walmart and get it for you, and He's not going to come down and brush your teeth for you, right? So
Woo!
He has His part, and you have your part. It's a partnership between the two of you all, right? And so when I started to realize the partnership part and my part in it, and that He gives me the ability to gain wealth, or He gives me the ability to do everything that I'm supposed to do while He does His part, it just made perfect sense to me. Okay, God, what's your part? What's my part? And I started telling people me and God is a dynamic duo because we are, right?
I love that. I heard you said it on a live. I was like, I love
Yes.
that.
I'm
Dynamic
like,
duo.
right. I'm like, we the dynamic duo. Okay, God, what you want me to do? Then that's your part. Okay, bet. Let's get this done, right? And so when I started realizing that some years ago, then I started testing the theory, right? Okay, God. Okay, bet. You want me to do this? Then you're gonna do this. Okay, bet. Let's do this. What's the time frame? We're gonna do it in 90 days. Bet. Let's see it. So I'm starting like to raise guard because like we in partnership and I'm competing because I need to finish my part because I know you're gonna do your part, right? And every time I put it out there, I'm like, okay, God, you do your, I got my, okay, bet we gonna do it. Every time we was able to accomplish whatever it was. So,
Wow.
so when I started trusting in the God-given abilities, the power that's working in me, as much as I trust in Him, that's when I started to be able to see things change and things manifest
Wow.
in my life and change because again, God gives us the power to do these things. And
Yes.
he gives us a power and He gives us the provisions, right? So what else do you need besides
You
power
know,
and provision?
you know what? That's so powerful because as I sit here and I listen to you, you're really helping me have a breakthrough with myself because I've always been, I think mine was opposite. Mine has always been, I believe in me, but I didn't believe that God will do it for
For
me.
you. Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
not that I didn't believe in God, I just didn't believe God will do it for me. I believe in me. I believe if it's gonna get done, it's me. It's that me fight. It's that it got to be me. That's all one of energy that I talk about in one of my challenges,
mm-hmm,
Facebook challenge. But it's if it has to get done, it's gonna be by me. I gotta do it. Nobody else gonna do it. I have no one to depend on, and I have no one to help me. So for years, I was walking in this battlefield that there's no help, no support. So if it has to get done, it's gonna be by me and my own power.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And then when God put me, when I went through my divorce, hit rock bottom, my 430 credit score, and they're coming to get my house and all sorts behind on my car payment, all the stuff that I went through, God kind of got me to the place and said, okay, well, now how you gonna get yourself out?
right, yeah, let me see.
Wait
I'll
for
wait.
it.
Right, I'll wait.
Wait for it. Because when I was a cop, I used to tell the inmates that God is bringing you back to jail, back and forth to jail, because that's where you left him.
Mhm.
That's where you left him, so you gotta pick him back up from where you
Mhm.
left him.
Mhm.
And I felt that God put a situation in to where I don't have a choice but to call on him, because
Mhm.
I was weak and just
Mhm.
I had to surrender. I love that
Mhm.
word. I had to
Mhm.
surrender, which is as a high achieving woman, we don't like surrendering.
At all.
So
Right.
I think for me, based on what you were saying, and the reason I'm pointing this out, guys, for whoever is listening here, we just glad. And if you're getting anything from this, make sure you put a high five in the chat, because you have two women here, and one have one scenario, and I have the other, and then another have the other scenario. But you can probably relate from one of them. So because when you're ambitious and highly driven, sometimes like you think it's just you have to make it
Mhm.
happen. You have to make it done, and
Mhm.
then God will put you in a place like he did me and says, you're feeling shamed. You left your job. You have to move into a 600 square footage apartment. So you're feeling all this guilt and shame that comes over you because of that situation. And you don't know what to do. Like you don't, so now I don't have a choice but to call on him.
Mhm.
So now when that happened, I learned never to leave him.
Mhm.
Like never consult him in all my goings. And sometimes just because I'm a creature of habit, I will just keep going. And if I get a block, I know that's my way of knowing that, okay, God, do you want me to just stay still and
Mhm.
listen? Let me give you an example. When I'm hosting this free workshop in my local area for women who are insurance and finance, I just giving back to my community.
Mhm.
And I was calling my team, hey, I need this funnel, hey, I need this video edited, and I'm done with my part. I'm like, what took y'all so long, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
my video editor, he says, Sherry, this means a lot to you, so I cannot rush this
Mhm.
because your name, your brand is on this, so I
Mhm.
need more time. I
Mhm.
need more time because I want the quality to be good for you. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, he's right. But just in that moment,
Uh-huh.
I say, okay, God, this is you telling me
Mhm.
relax,
Yeah.
relax. So there are days listening to you said what you said. There are days I left God mentally in my mind, but he
Mhm.
always put a ram in the bush
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say, okay, hold on,
Mhm.
baby girl,
Right.
hold
Yeah.
on,
Pause.
a pause, and like, come on back, come on
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
See, I think Ashley Kirk would say I was successful on paper,
Mhm.
but I was mentally drained,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so and I see that a lot because highly driven people, they're very successful, but they're
Mhm.
mentally drained.
Yeah.
And I also feel like I'm only mentally drained when I forget who my father is.
Mhm.
When I
Mhm.
forget who my father is.
Mhm.
So knowing that, we are both talking about having God as our overseer, having God as our partner,
Mhm.
whether you forsake him or whether you say, hey, we're going to partner together. We call that faith. So
Yeah.
let
Yeah. Yeah.
me ask you,
Mhm.
Annette, when was the last time you had to call on God, your faith in God,
Mhm.
to get you through something?
Girl, this whole entrepreneurship journey is a faith walk. I call on God every day with this thing. Every day with this. Sometimes I'm like, God, you sure you wanted me to do this? Because this don't make no sense for this to be this hard, and you called me to do this.
Girl, that's what Instagram and Facebook be saying.
Because they be lying on Facebook and Instagram.
Girl, I'm
Anybody that
at
makes
a 9 to
nothing
5. I just get dressed and go to the
and clock out at 5 and go
Ain't
home about my business. You know what I
don't
mean?
gotta worry about them people.
Yes. So I'm like, listen, this entrepreneurship journey is a whole faith walk. It's a challenge, even from me starting this. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for 13 years. But when God called me to entrepreneurship, people say, how did I get started? I'm like, I didn't just willingly jump into entrepreneurship because it just never would have been a good time for me. God impressed upon me and was like, it is time. I need you to take the faith walk and do it, right? And at the time, I had no money saved. Y'all, I don't come from a rich background. I come from a family of poverty. I was born and raised in a project in New Orleans. So I didn't have any relatives that I could call for money if I could, if I got my back against the wall. I didn't have any money saved. Like in my mind, I was like, okay, God, I finally realized, because at first when he said it, I thought, or at least I was hoping that he was telling me to tell it to somebody else. I didn't want to do that. Both of my children
Love
were in
it.
private school. It was just like, yeah, this ain't what you want. This ain't what I want to do, Lord. And so I kept on kind of like trying to dismiss it. And you know, when God is trying to get something to you, like it's like a nagging little net. Like he just keep
Yes.
coming, you know. And
Yes.
so I was like, okay, God, like, okay, I hear you. I'm gonna do it. And that was the scariest thing I ever did in my life. Like to quit a job. I was a single mother, 2 children in private school, had a house note, car note, all the things, right? And so I started like, when I finally was like, okay, God, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, but you know, and I started running off the list of everything that I had, and God was like, I knew all of that already. Why? Why are you telling me?
Wow.
I just need you to
Don't
quit
miss
this
that.
job.
Oh, don't miss that. Don't miss that. She
Yeah,
said she started running off all the things, excuses, I call those,
yeah,
of why you can't do what God called you to do.
yeah.
And God is like, I knew that before I
When I
called
called you,
you.
yeah,
Woo! Jesus, I didn't want her to miss that.
I knew every
Because
bill
you're
you
so
had.
talented. Sometimes you're like, you know, like, okay, no, hold on. I need to get that. Like, I
Yeah,
knew that. I
yeah,
knew you were gonna have to find some. I knew you're gonna need resources. I knew you're
yes,
gonna need money. I knew you're gonna
yes.
need support. I
Mm-hmm,
knew you're gonna need help. I knew
mm-hmm,
your mind is may not be where it need to be at. I
yeah,
knew all of that
all
when I
that.
showed.
And
Oh
and I
Jesus,
still
I'm getting
called you.
chills.
And I still called you.
And still called you
Still
with
called
all
you.
them flaws. I know people are gonna talk bad about you. I know your family gonna think you're crazy for leaving that
Crazy.
400
Yep.
$42,000 job to start entrepreneurship. That was
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
know
was
friends
me.
gonna lie
40,000 a
on
year.
you and
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that, but
Uh-huh.
I'm still coach. Father,
Yeah.
thank you. Woo,
Yeah. 40,000
Jesus, girl.
hours a year, getting paid every other week to go to entrepreneurship and don't know when I'm gonna get paid. That was ludicrous.
So, now, so why do we do it? Why clients don't pay on time? Like,
Why
why
do we
do we
keep
do
doing it and just get up every day and keep doing it over and over
with a
again?
smile,
Yes.
girl?
Yeah. Yeah. Every day. So this is like all of this is faith. All of it.
Oh my
Is faith.
god!
Yeah. Yeah. All of it is faith. Yeah.
Now let me tell y'all something. You know what's sad though? I would not do anything else.
Nothing. I would do this all over. If I had a choice, I would do this all over again. All over again.
Amen. Yes, with all of that we just said,
And I do it again. And if I
I
get a
do it
third
again.
chance, I'll do it
With me,
again.
do it again. With all of
Yeah.
that we just said. But why?
But why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel that it's not only like you have to be anointed to be an entrepreneur, right?
Oh,
That's an
yes.
anointing that you cannot ignore. So even if I shut this business down right now and decide to go work a 9 to 5, I feel like this anointing and this calling will never leave me. And it's not going to allow me to sit comfortably in a 9 to 5, right? It's going to annoy me until I answer the calling of that anointing, right? So why not just push through it, right? Because again, the old people used to say, must Jesus bear the cross alone? This is just our cross to bear.
Jesus.
It's our cross to bear.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you're saying entrepreneurship is like a spiritual journey.
It really is. I mean, I call on God all during the day, like, God, listen. Hey,
And
God, it's me
so
again.
so can we just point out what we just said is if you are in this space and you feeling like giving up, because I'm just feeling, thank you, God,
Hmm.
and you're feeling like giving up, I want you to check your spiritual capacity.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not saying, oh, don't give up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying check your spiritual capacity
Hmm.
because you may be walking what I was doing, edging God out. You may be walking with your own strength, or
Hmm.
you may be complaining, maybe that. But you
Or
just what you
let me
just
interject right here. Or you might be walking in the wrong lane, right? Because sometimes what happens is that we look at other people, what they're doing, and oh, it look easy for them, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But what you don't realize is that the anointing will make something look easy because that's what they were created to do. It ain't easy for you because that ain't where you're supposed to be, right?
woo,
The gift makes
Jesus.
room for you. It's your gift, not the other person's gift. So you might even be in the wrong lane. Your gift
That-
makes room for you, not their gift.
and that's why you can't copy what other people do. That's why I see people try to take my stuff, take
Hmm.
something they find from YouTube University, take another person and try to put it together, but it's not for them to do because you're taking. See, I tell my clients all the time, I say, this is a framework that I use to hit my first six figures. This is what I do. This is a framework I use to close $250,000 in one day. This
Mhm.
is a framework that I use. Now, take the framework, make it your
Make it your
own,
own. Yeah,
because when you're
yeah.
investing yourself, you're
Mhm,
getting behind the scenes. But
mhm.
if you're not investing in yourself, you're just getting the crumbs of what the front of what everybody's doing, and it looks good. But
Right,
the cake looks so pretty, but you didn't look in the kitchen where there's
right.
powder, eggs,
Okay,
sugar
yeah,
all
everywhere.
over the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, we're almost towards the end, but I'm telling you guys, if you haven't got your ticket to Unleashing Your Inner CEO, because this is how it's going to be. Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference is for women who are in service-based business, insurance, and finance. And we have the beautiful keynote speaker that will be rocking this stage, the beautiful Annette. And I am so grateful for have her as a mastermind sister. We are talking about our belief system and our mindset to execute on our calling. For
Mhm.
God knows if that wasn't, it would have gave up a long time ago. And
I
the
would have
reason
quit before
why
I
that is
started.
important, we would have gave up a long time ago, but the strength of God keep us going. And if you didn't hear anything else we said, what we said, I just want you, before we hop off, for you to get this part. We are saying that it's going to take a spiritual walk with God to be able to be in this space.
Mhm,
Yes, it's going to
mhm,
take a
mhm,
spiritual walk before strategy, a spiritual walk before system, a spiritual walk. It's going to take a spiritual walk to be in the space. Knowing this, but it's going to be so worth it.
mhm. It
Let's
is.
let we've been talking about, oh my God, but, let's talk about what it's looked like. What is the abundance has been on your life since taking that spiritual journey?
So, y'all, it has truly been a financial blessing, and it's bigger than finances, right? So, I can remember like hitting my first 100K month. And I left a career that was only paying me $40,000 a year to get into a space that allowed me to make $40,000 a month, right? Even and I've only had one 100K plus month. But I want to see more of that duplicated, right? So it just enables me to make more income and more impact, right? And so that allows me to be able to do a lot of the things that I want to do. So Sherry, know, like I travel the world. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had stayed on the job. I wouldn't have had the finances, all the time, freedom to be able to do that. Both of my children graduated from private schools. That's something that I wanted for my children, right? And was able to do it because I had the income to be able to cover the tuition. And they graduated from some of the best private schools in New Orleans and in Slidell, Louisiana, right? And so doing all of those things, purchasing another home, getting investment property, purchasing my second home, purchasing my luxury vehicle that I want, right? Being able to also be a blessing to others. So I do give back, right? So philanthropic efforts, all of those things or whatever, right? I couldn't do it without the extra revenue to be able to do those things, right? And even helping other people in business to be able to grow and do the things that they want to do in the same likewise manner, right? So it has allowed me a lot of freedoms, a lot more finances, which allows me a lot more freedoms, right? And so that is the biggest plus to entrepreneurship and why I continue to do that, because I can't go anywhere on anybody's job and get paid what I get paid in this particular space.
You know what? Oh my gosh, give it up for the beautiful Annette. Like, you always on somebody's plane. I'm like,
Always.
whenever you grab a person, take a picture at the door, I'm like, where's she going now? Like, where is she going now? Like, where is she going? And I think we have several other speaking engagement coming up as
Uh-huh,
well.
I do. Yeah.
And she's always doing something big. So you guys, you've heard us talk about Lord, this entrepreneurship things, but to be honest with you, it is the best feeling in the world, because the abundance again that comes from there. And I was sitting here even looking at I was waiting on you when I was waiting on you to come on, and I'm like, your girl is in a magazine. Like your girl is in a magazine. Like,
Yes.
like, in a business magazine. And I'm like, I went to Dubai with Angel the other day. Has nothing to do with work. Getting ready to go to Bangkok and I'm like, oh my goodness, all these traveling, all these stages, all these things that I've been able to accomplish. My son has a private soccer that we have a cleaner that come over. He
Yes.
goes to and I'm just like, wow, like
Yeah.
it's just my husband. is I'm speaking in Springfield, Missouri at 8% on Thursday.
Mhm.
This actual Thursday. My husband is coming with me to watch me on stage and flying with me to,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I remember wanting that. I remember because I travel all the time for speaking a lot, but I said my wish is one day my husband and son would be able to travel with me,
Support
but my
me, right?
son find it boring, so he's not gonna go. But my husband is traveling with me to watch his wife on stage, and I just think like, Lord, my manifestation has came
Yeah,
through,
yeah.
and hosting not one but two conference. And it just like, oh my gosh, it just blow my mind
Mhm. Mhm.
because I had to point these things out, Annette, because I didn't want them to leave like, if entrepreneurship's so bad, I want them to see that no, there's
Yeah, yeah,
an
yeah.
other piece.
Yeah,
There's
uh-huh.
an other piece that makes it so worth it.
But that's the thing, like social media paints the other piece so heavily that we don't need to focus on that. When y'all go to Instagram, they're gonna make you think entrepreneurship is the bees knees. You know what I'm saying? Let us
Yes,
tell you the other side to it. Like we paint the other side, but you also heard us say if we had the opportunity to do it again, we do it again and again and again. So
and
the reason why
again,
we are is because the good outweighs the bad. But there is the bad. So don't believe that everything is glitter and it's gold and it's sprinkle and it's don't believe that at all. At all. Because there are
and
days
a
that we want to jump off the cliff.
And the last thing I want you to take away, the reason why we are able to reap this abundance on the other side is because even in our challenges, we kept going through.
Yeah.
And I got this from Annette. She just say, I just kept going. She said it in
Mhm.
her message. She said, I just kept going.
Mhm.
Even in our challenges, we just keep going. So Annette, you're gonna be one of our keynote speaker at Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference.
Mhm.
I knew this was gonna be an amazing interview. I just knew it. What can the people expect from you? Like, I mean, how can you take it from where we are right now to 10x a little bit? What can the ladies, ambitious women in insurance and finance, y'all, just to let you know, this is a boutique conference. This is not those big conferences. The boutique conference are one of the best because it's super small and you get to know everyone on an intimate
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Intimate level. And that's
Yeah.
why I love these boutique conferences. You go to these major conferences, you don't remember who you met. I was looking at a video the other day. I was like, oh, that lady was at my conference. But when you're at a boutique conference, you get to see people like Annette, meet them, find out what their challenges and what their abundances are.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
she's one of my super friends. So, Annette, what can the people expect at Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference? You as a keynote speaker.
So you can expect me to help you to develop your own strategy for overcoming, right? So as I think Sherry mentioned
Ooh,
earlier, whatever,
I
I just
like that.
recently went through a divorce. So I finalized my divorce in February. And the answer to everything in life is just to keep going, right? I can't just sit down and just not do anything. I don't have time to soak in anything, right? I have levels of success to be able to attain because again, once I get to glory, God is going to hold me accountable for doing the things that I was responsible for doing and making manifest in the earth, right? So how do you keep going even when life is life and right? I'm going to
Ooh,
tell you that like it's all in your mindset. It's really all in your mindset and how you are determined to push forward in order to succeed because life is going to always give you a reason to fold. Life will always give you a reason to fold and it's going to give you a way to fold, right? You have to go beyond that. You have to go beyond the distractions of life. You have to go beyond whatever it is to be determined enough to succeed in spite of whatever is going on in your life. So I'm going to give you all the strategies that I use just to make sure I'm mentally sound, mentally strong, prioritizing your mental so that you can get to whatever level you want to get to in life. So a man thinks, so is he. So I'm gonna make sure whatever you thinking is whatever you want to be.
prioritize your mental so you
Hmm.
can get the results you desire. My
Absolutely.
gosh.
Yep.
I heard that. I heard that loud and clear. Y'all, I want to keep this going, but we can't. You have to come to Unleashing Your Inner CEO
You
conference.
do.
It's
Hmm.
August 16th and 17th in
Yep.
Titusville, Florida, just outside Orlando. Grab your tickets if you haven't already. Annette, how can people get in touch with you? Where do they get in? I know we're gonna send out some links, but how can people get in touch with you to learn more about you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Annette Nicole Jones, MA. My website is www.wealthbydesignlegacyfirm.com or just give me a call. I like to chat with people. 504-513-3076 is my office number.
All right. Do y'all hear that? Who gives the I don't even give out my private number on. I don't even give up my private. Do y'all
That's not my
listen?
private number.
Y'all
That's
know.
my office number.
Yeah, I got it. Not even my office number. They're like, everybody goes with Jasmine, my assistant. So this is how much she care about you. This is how much that it's not just, hey, come get the value. She's actually care, want to pour into you. This is a perfect example of people. The Bible says you know people by their fruits, and
Yeah.
that's why I love her character. We can talk more about that later, ladies, and maybe some gentlemen that's going to see this. Whenever you tune into this, let us just understand, keep going. And if you're saying, Sherry, I just can't keep going,
You can.
understand that
Hmm.
we are not me.
Hmm.
Annette is going to give you the strategy and tools that
Uh-huh.
she used and her clients are using to keep going and get the results they desire. But you have to be in the room to
Yes.
show that you really need the help. So we
Hmm.
will see you in Sunshine, Florida on August 16th and 17th. Annette,
Yes.
it's a pleasure, sister. I love
Yes.
you.
Love you
Thank you
too.
for taking time out your schedule, because we know you busy. You probably gonna
Yes.
jump on the plane soon. Make sure you follow her. And let me tell you, if you just enjoy this, just imagine how it is with her in person. See y'all. God bless. And again, it's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. I'm super excited for you to take the time out to blend with us, talk with us, build relationship with us. And I cannot wait to see you again in the beautiful Titusville, Florida for Unleashing Your Inner CEO Conference.